Hey boys, I'm Roy, and I'm back at you today with more informative content. Today we'll be taking a close look at the spawns on customs and how they work. I'll be giving you what is, in my opinion, the best moves to make as soon as you spawn, as well as where other players might spawn in accordance to yours, and the moves that they might make so you can either avoid or be ready for them. Let's get in there. Our first spawn is behind Water Treatment Warehouse. This spawn is pretty safe in the first few minutes of the raid because it's considered one of the forward spawns on the east side of the map, but as the raid progresses it gets more dangerous because PMCs have the potential to push from in front of you and behind you regardless of where you go. Groups of up to 3 can spawn relatively close to you at the chemical warehouse further east, but it's more likely whoever you're sharing this side of the map with spawned in the corner toward Boiler and Usec buildings. Personally, I usually choose to rush past old gas so I can be the first PMC into Fortress, which is a highly contested area of the map. You can expect enemies to be coming at you from Crack House, which is adjacent to Fortress, and possible PvP rushers to come at you from behind, as they may have followed you from the chemical warehouse spawn if they got it. This is second dorm spawn, also known as a violence spawn. I've lovingly named it this because it is a little bit difficult to do anything other than go to dorms when you get this spawn. If you choose not to go, getting caught out of position is easy because it's very hard to predict which of the other spawns are going to rush dorms. You have a spawn behind you, which is most likely going to be rushing Junk Bridge a minute or two into the raid. The RUAF spawn may decide to run straight to you, which cuts off your exit lane on the right side, and it's very likely that you will meet another team or solo when you arrive at 3-story. Make sure you're watching for them to come up the middle stairs on 2nd floor on their side, or jumping in the far bedroom on 1st floor. If you win that fight, be prepared for more teams to be pushing you at any time in the raid because you're literally in the Thunderdome. Here we have a mid spawn on Big Red side of the map. In my opinion, this spawn has a bit more freedom when it comes to where you can go safely. You have a possible spawn in front of you on the left and right on both banks of the river, as well as across the river on the far left side. All of these spawns will essentially just rush forward to either get across the river or get to dorms, depending on their respective spawn. If no one has spawned at any of those places, chances are they spawn far behind you in the corner adjacent to Crossroads. From this position, you can move across Main Bridge essentially safely and choose where you want to go from there. I usually choose to push Crack House, and almost always do so by clearing Elbow in lieu of getting caught in an ambush at RUAF storages. Now we're at the back corner adjacent to Crossroads on Big Red side. If you're a solo, there's a chance another solo spawned right in front of you inside storages. I can't tell you how many times I've come through this hole and gotten into an ensuing gunfight with a guy directly on the other side of it. If that fight doesn't happen, then there's a pretty good chance that you're in the safest spawn on the map. Unless they have a quest in Big Red, it's pretty likely that the group or solos that you're sharing this side of the map with already moved across the river as soon as the raid started. This gives you the freedom to loot storages and choose where you want to move to in the map, but be aware that you're trailing someone and act accordingly. This is probably my favorite forward spawn in the game. The RUAF spawn and the Crack House spawn aren't the same, but if you spawn at one, no one else spawned at the other. This spawn gives you some options. You can either post up inside or around Crack House and wait for the spawn to push from where you just came from, or you can make the Chad play and immediately hard push Fortress and surprise the old gas spawn when he shows up, which most likely won't be too long. You could also move through elbow to quickly cut off the dorm's pushers that would be coming across junk bridge if you're fast enough, but that of course comes with its own dangers. This mid-spawn has the potential to be the most dangerous in my opinion. You're right behind the first dorm spawn and right in front of the back spawn that will most likely be coming your way, and I really don't recommend fighting in the woods up the hill. The safest route is probably the one I'm taking, as the spawn in front of you probably rushed dorms as soon as the raid started, so you're kinda safe to move up. From there you can decide whether or not you want to push into one of the dormitories or head across the road to get the big skeleton through the blue connector. Another of my favorite mid spawns, we're at Usec building. I personally never had anyone spawn in the immediate compound with me, but I suppose it's not impossible. However, it's very likely someone will be running through that back hole in the wall in the first 60 seconds of the raid, so be aware of that. Usec building is fairly easy to hold, so I recommend posting up somewhere in here, wherever you're comfortable. And last but never least, we have the back spawn on Usec side. Once again, your path from here is pretty linear because fighting in the woods going towards dorms can be an absolute camp fest, so it's best to travel through back hole in the wall and fight the people that spawn in the compound. After going through, you can decide which corner you want to clear from. I recommend traveling back towards factory far corner and starting from there. And there you have it, a pretty much complete guide to spawn PvP on customs. I didn't cover every single spawn on the map because that would take too long, but the only ones I didn't cover are in direct vicinity to the ones I did, so no one will be spawning at them if you spawn that close anyway. I hope this improves your survival rate. Throw me a like and a sub if you learned something, and I'll see you in the next one.